a fabric, a sheet, or a shirt. A famous story, their annoyance known to all. I cannot step outside, so I feel a twinge. Is it anger, pain, or frustration? I boil like a pot, with salt in my wounds, increasing only further, broiling. Heat cannot solve this. Fire cannot fight another flame. The two can only burn, with no goal, no end, and no aim. Only destruction. I can only take off this shirt and hope that my chest is not wrinkled too. Hi, my name is Sean Carberry, and the title of this poem is Wrinkles. I wouldn't say I have a specific background in writing. I don't have any accolades or any awards or anything, but I always did like writing growing up. I've written plenty of short stories. I've written plenty of improv pieces. I even tried to write a novel once, and I'm good at writing essays as well. So I don't have a background, but I do enjoy the practice.
Ooh, I almost dropped your coffee. Oh my gosh.
Wrinkles.
When titling a poem, I personally consider how I feel about the poem and what I want the audience to get out of it. I don't necessarily consider how the audience feels because poetry is very personal for me, so it more just plays into what I want them to consider when reading it. So the title of the poem, Wrinkles, is actually a testament to my tardive dyskinesia and OCD growing up. I've always had these very annoying compulsions and tics. So Wrinkles was actually written probably a minute and a half after I had a very bad episode of tics. And it was just me venting my frustration about, having wrinkles in my shirt. I mentioned not really considering how an audience feels when writing the title of my poem, but when reading the poem itself, I want the audience to feel the frustration that I experience because of these tics. I don't really have any rhyme scheme or anything in this poem. It's more just the anger and the words coming to my head as I was having these tics. So I really just want the audience to understand how frustrated I was. A lot of my poetry is written in heavy metaphor and figurative language, so I wouldn't say I have like a general process. It's mainly just me getting out my feelings through figurative language and trying to connect it all in a way that maybe even if it doesn't make sense, it just feels like a satisfying end. So tardive dyskinesia itself is actually a lesser known, more recently discovered disorder. For people who don't have tics or don't understand them, it's best to just not let people know or just point it out to the people who are having tics. It can just be embarrassing for the people who are having the tics, and especially even if you think you're joking around with this person, it's pretty much akin to mocking them when you are bringing up their tics or even replicating their tics in front of them. I've had that happen a lot. A lot of people are trying to joke around with me in high school, elementary, middle school by doing the tics with me. I used to sniffle a lot as a tic in elementary school, and a lot of people would sniffle and laugh in my face and stuff. It's don't do that. So if you ever see people who are experiencing tics, as somebody who's had them for over a decade and a half now, just don't tell them, just let it go. They'll eventually stop having the tic soon, and it's just best to just let it slide. It's not something they can control anyway. I guess to get the topics and conversations around tardive dyskinesia or any tic disorder really started, it's just a matter of exposing yourself to these kinds of behaviors of people. One famous Twitch streamer, Sweet Anita, is known to have Tourette's disorder pretty badly, and a lot of people, they'll joke about it or go along with it, but not a lot of people understand tics themselves. Tics are very hard, if not impossible, to control, and a lot of the people who experience them are very frustrated by them. To get a conversation started about it, not only do you have to research tics themselves and how they make the people feel, because I have tics myself, but I could never fully explain how they make me feel or how I deal with them. So I think it's really just a matter of researching them yourself and exposing yourself to people who have them. Because if you're not exposing yourself to different kinds of people with different kinds of disorders, you're not going to learn enough to really get the whole scope and grasp of what these disorders are.